Hello Sue, hi. Hi Mimi. Hi Joanna, good evening. This feels a bit strange at this time in the evening. Hello Melanie. Hi Carols. Good evening everybody. Hi Jackie. Just move that over there. Hello Sue. I won't keep you too long, I'll just wait for a few people to join if they want to. Hi Jane, hi Janet. Hello Sue. Hi Mimi, how are you? Good evening Jane. How is everybody? Hi Sarah, how are you? Let's just tilt that a little bit. Hopefully that's a bit better. How is everybody? Good evening. Hi Ute, hello there, good evening. Hi Sue. We always get lots of Sues, don't we? Hello Ali, how are you? Hi Kelly. Hi Sally. I'm presuming some of you have had your tea by now. Hi Kim. How are you Kelly? Hi Lorraine. Hello Pat. Hello Ute, how are you? Good morning Kay. Now that is confusing because you're saying good morning. Hi Mandy, because it's good evening here, I'm very confused. Hi Pam. Are you getting all set for your birthday tomorrow Pam? Good evening Kim. Hi Lorraine. Hello Helen. I'm going to have to do this another time Tracy. That's all right Sue. I'll put it on YouTube, so it's not for you to rush to do it now. It's not a problem. I'll put it on YouTube so that you can see it. Hello Paula. So yes, so don't worry, there's not a problem to rush to do it. It's just to give you an idea. Hello Babs. I normally watch Dina Wakely, but I've seen so many lovely creations your followers have made. Oh, bless you, Diane. Oh, yes, Dina's doing a fantastic job. Very creative, Dina is. Hi, Helen. Hello, Paula. Hi, Roz. Good evening. Hi, Karen. So how are you, Diane? Perhaps you can catch a bit of each video, Diane. A bit of Dina, a bit of Tracy and a bit of something else. Hi Maria, how are you? Homeschooling was loads better with the help of YouTube today. Yay Jane. So you're feeling a little bit less stressed. Trust me Jane, I wouldn't feel less stressed homeschooling because a 6-year-old is definitely way beyond my level. Definitely. Hello Gail. Hi Maureen. Hi Serena. I thought you weren't joining us because you're up early. Hello Maureen. Hi Julie. How are you? Hello Gina. I had to go out the group and come back in 4 times to find myself. Hello from Holland. Angela, hello there. Annalise, hello. Hello Ruth, how are you? Oh bless. Hello Zoe. So yes, this is just a simple book that we're creating, but the idea was we sent the books out and the idea was just to have a little play. Nothing complicated, just a little play. So no complicated techniques, it was just to go with the flow. Hi Jan, hi Birgit. Now Sue is saying she's lost my link. I can't load the computer up, that's the problem, it's too difficult. I've just had tea. Did you have anything nice, Serena? I'm just loading my computer up to see if I can help Sue. It's very difficult to help somebody when you've already got 2 devices. You're good, thanks. Yes, I'm good, Maria. I've had some time in the garden today and I've actually been for a walk as well. Hello, Annalise, how are you? Sorry about this, everybody. Sue's lost the link, so I'm having to log into my other machine. Hello, Diane. Won't keep you a second, I'm just trying to help somebody out. And of course my computer's on a go slow. I finally got sorted. Hope you are well. Oh, how's your fur baby, Holly? How's your fur baby? sorry, I'm having to talk because somebody's lost the link and I'm trying to help them. Salmon and I can't even pronounce it, I'm useless. Hello Beverly, hello there. Just had fish and chips. Yes, that's more like it, Sarah. Fish and chips. I like fish and chips. Partner cooked it as well, Serena. You see, that's even better still. I'm just helping somebody find the link. I won't keep you a second. It's just very difficult finding the link for somebody while you're doing the live at the same time. Watching whilst eating supper with the sound off so you can wave. wave at Jane, she's got the sound off. We had chicken curry tonight. Oh, lovely. Just sending the link. Hopefully that will help Sue out because I can't do any more now. Sorry about that, folks. I had to help somebody with the link and I have to switch my computer on to help. So it's very difficult trying to work on 3 devices instead of 2. Sausage, chips and beans for dinner. Oh, you can't beat sausage, chips and beans. So I had a lovely walk. It was lovely. We're waving, Jane. Yes, waving. Jane's got the sound off, so she wants us to wave. Yay. Hi, June. How are you, Flower? I'm eating raw swede. Sick of eating. What's wrong with me? It's blame my daughter. She did a food order. Hang on a minute. Raw swede, Diane. Seriously. Raw swede. Ooh. Chicken and bacon pasta bake. Ooh, scampi and chips Mario's doing as hubby cleaned the bathroom. Yeah, I think I'd rather do the cooking than clean the bathroom. Hi Sue, have you got it? Sorry Sue, it's difficult to send you a link because I'm already on 2 devices. So I had to let everybody hang on a minute while I went onto my computer because it's difficult because I've got the phone filming, I've got my iPad with the comments on, so if I haven't got a 3rd device, it's difficult to come to get the link for you. Raw swede. Oh, do you like raw swede as well? Oh, no. Tracy, how do you attach the elastic? I'll go through all that, Serena, no problem at all. So this is a very simple book. And the idea behind this was just to get everybody going. I sent a few of these little books out, which were like this, which is the Eileen Hull needle book, and I sent some of these books out. But the idea is when you're sitting at night and you don't know what to do with yourself and you're not feeling very creative, these little books are ideal. Oh, and Margaret's just put the tea on. I managed it, didn't I, Sue? 3rd device, I'm multitasking, Sue. So the idea is that this just gets you going. It just gets you flowing. Nothing complicated. No complicated techniques. For me, this is just, I thought you were on at 4:30. Was it go? No, I wasn't going live at all, Jennifer, today. But I promised a few ladies who'd had this book to show them how to decorate the book. So I've come in the group this time just for those ladies who ordered the book, just to show them how I decorated. So really it's just an hour going with the flow and enjoying being creative. Nothing stressful, no complicated techniques, just enjoying an hour together. That's it really. We're just enjoying an hour together. But what I like about these little books, I know I'm a bit weird, but you're all used to me being a bit weird now, aren't you? So, but I just love how sturdy they are. The book's really sturdy when it's put together, and I love it. I love how sturdy it is. I know I'm strange. Hi Chantal, but I can't help it, but it's just lovely and sturdy. Now this one was cut out of grey mount board, but this one is white, so I'm going to decorate this one. But hi Chantal, how are you? So yes, I am slightly weird, but I do love it when my books are bulky. When they're bulky and thick, I like that. I know it's a bit odd, but it's just what I like. So what I thought we'd do is create this. So you've got your little books. I did a video to tell you how to do your accordion bit. So your accordion bit, was 10 inches long and 3.5 inches in height, and then you just scored at 2 inches. I bought the mini notebook from Eileen Hull. Oh, this isn't the mini notebook, Jennifer. This is the needle book, but the little notebook will just work just the same. Absolutely the same. Oh, thank you, Diane. Colours. I love these two colours together, Diane, just for a change. But you've joined in when we're doing something really simple, Diane. So I'm sorry about this. It's very simple tonight. It doesn't matter, Jackie. It's an off-the-cuff Facebook Live. No stress, no pressure. Just going with the flow and just taking it easy for an hour. And it's the simplest techniques on the planet. And the whole point of this live is just to enjoy an hour together. And that's it, really. No other reason. So I created 2 of these accordions, which were 10 inches long and 3.5 inches in height, and then I just scored at 2 inches and I joined them together so that you end up with an accordion like this, a little accordion that'll fit in our book like so. So that's our accordion. And what I've done is I've created the little pieces so you can see how tiny the pages are. Hi Pauline, how are you? Hello Laura. I look superb. I love quirky and simple, just like me. Hey Diane, welcome to my club. I'm definitely quirky and simple. That is me down to a T, Diane. Absolutely spot on. Quirky and simple. I couldn't have described myself better actually, Diane. Canada, hello, Laura's from Canada. Yay. They were sold out of that one you are using. So I've for the next one. Honestly, Jennifer, I've got it as well. I got the little one. So don't worry about it. Anything works, really. We're just going with the flow. So we're just enjoying an hour together. No stress at all. So what I'm going to do is sometimes, so I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need 9 of these. 1. Hello, Eugenie. How are you? Hello, Angela. 2. Hello, Raina. Loving your work, Raina, on the Dina page. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 9 little diddy pages. Look how diddy they are. But really, this shows that you can use your stamps even on little diddy pages. You don't have to have big pages all the time. Hello, Shabnese. Hello, Alice. Hello there. Where you born in the 70s by any chance? I was born 1967, Jennifer. I'm giving my age away. I'm very well, Eugenia. You? This is just a go with the flow, easy going Facebook Live, Eugenie. No stress. What we do if we've got an hour spare, that's all. Hello, Christine. So we're just, and look how tiny the pages are. They're really tiny. But what I thought was, if any of you want to share a little book, and if you tag me, Tracy Evans' little book, I've got a little giveaway. You might not be interested in the giveaway, but I've got a couple of used stamps, not very well used, but there's a couple of used stamps there. And if you're not interested, don't worry. A couple of used stamps there and 1 new stamp. A little new one by Janet. So I've got that little stamp set and a couple of other stamp sets. But note that those have been used once. But a little giveaway. So if you want to share a little book, I don't care what book it is, as long as you tag me, Tracy Evans' little book, I'll draw a random winner. Hello, Nora. How are you? And Rizwana, hello. Exactly. Lots of scraps, Maria. Scraps are absolutely perfect. Creating a little book. Why don't we create from scraps? It's brilliant. Cute little book. Look how tiny it is. If you look at my hand, it's so diddy. It's a diddy little book. It's lovely. I like small. Oh, I love doing little giveaways. They make me happy doing giveaways, I just love them. I love little giveaways. So this is what we're doing. If I'm sitting at home sometimes and I'm a little fed up, I just create quick, simple backgrounds. So how are you, Rizwana? Rizwana always helps me out at shows. If I'm doing a show, Rizwana does all my cutting for me. And Lizzie's just finished a dinner. Yay! Yes, welcome to Diane. I'm honoured. Diane's left Dina Wakley's Live to come here, and now I'm only doing something simple. So I love just doing some simple techniques. So what I've got here are another two of my favourite colour schemes. It's Hickory Smoke and Fossilised Amber. Tracy Evans' Little Boot giveaway. Exactly. Perfect, Maria. If you just tag me in that, I'll just pick a random winner. I lost you and found you then again. Thank God. Bless Sue. I'm like that, Sue. I'm watching somebody live and they get to a good bit and then I lose it. I'm still waiting on my nib stamps from Mountain Ash Crafts. Oh, did you want them for your... Oh, you should get them for your tiny book. Which time... Do you know I've done that many books now? I'm lost. It won't be long. I've heard that Mountain Ash Crafts are brilliant. I'm going to go for a visit when this lockdown's gone. So what I'm going to do is just do the mop-up technique with the Distress Oxides, mainly because if you want a quick background, I love just doing the mop-up technique. So I'm going to do some quick backgrounds with Hickory Smoke. I think that Hickory Smoke's a little bit dry. Hello, Rachel. How are you? So that we're just creating something simple, Rachel. Nothing too complicated, just something simple. So I've got my Hickory Smoke and my Fossilised Amber. And sometimes when I'm a little bit fed up, how many oxides have you got? I've probably got every oxide colour on the planet twice over, because I do workshops as well. So because I do workshops, I have double of everything. So what these little pages are brilliant, because you can do your little mop up and do several at the same time. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the Fossilised Amber. I've got loads of distress. Hey, missed last night. Sorry. Oh, don't worry about that, Carol. It doesn't matter if you missed them. What does that matter? What we're saying. Hey, Tracy. I love these colours. And it's just a little bit different. We don't always have to do complicated techniques. We don't always have to make everything overcomplicated. So I'm just going to spritz these with water and let them just sit a minute. I'm sorry they're slightly off camera, but I'm trying to do all 9 at the same time. And I often do this when sometimes when you're a little bit fed up, how much time do we have to make a book for the gift? Oh, ages, Chantal. Over a week, because I don't do anything in a rush. So don't worry about it. No rush. We don't do rush here. We can't rush everything. We don't want to rush. We just want to keep it a nice steady flow. So what I'm going to do is now, is I just want to get rid of this moisture so I can add more depth of colour. So I'm just going to add the colours again. You could add these colours with your sheet of acetate if you applied the colour to acetate, but I just love the randomness of always doing this technique. It's just so random, you never quite know what you're going to get. Oh, you're very welcome, Chantal. It's the best bit about doing a Facebook Live. I like to give something back. I just think it's important to give something back. That's just me. So I'm just adding more colour because I want more depth of colour, and I'm doing all 9 at once. All 9 of them at once. Because that's what I love about these pages. There's so little. There's so little. So then I'm going to spritz with water, and then I can dry these, and then I'll probably add another layer of colour. Whoops. Just dry these now. Normally I would leave them to dry naturally. If you allow them to dry naturally, you get more depth of colour. So it is important to let them dry naturally, but we haven't got time for that, have we? Because we don't want to keep you here for a century. Eugenie, I either use Pink Frog 300 GSM or 250 GSM, or I use the back of Centura Pearl card, or I use watercolour card if it's smooth. So whatever I can get away with. But I do tend to use the Pink Frog or the Centura Pearl because they work quite well for me. I love them. They do work quite well. But I mean, this is what's good. This is what's good about oxides. You don't have to spend ages doing a background. I mean, they look fab, and I've got a simple background. And what you can do is, if you wanted more depth, me cupboard is that wet. My non-stick craft sheet. You get a lovely background. Each one is different, but then you can go back. And obviously, if you wanted to add more depth of colour to your pages, I quite like these because there's some white space. I love the fact there's some white space. So you can go back and add another layer of the colour. We won't do that on every one, but we will do it on some. And then spritz with water again and dry. Oh, bless you, Serena. You're so kind. You really are. I'm only doing a simple technique. But I have to say, I'm loving my group at the moment because I love how everybody shares. I love how you all help each other out. It really is the reason I created the group. It's so lovely. And I must admit, I feel quite inspired to create more looking at your artwork as well. Just looking at your artwork. But look at these, just simple backgrounds, nothing complicated, but you get some fab results just from 2 colours. Not everything has to be overly complicated. You can still get a lovely result that you're pleased with. It doesn't have to be over complicated every time. And this is what I do sometimes. If I'm a little bit fed up, I'll just sit and do these kind of backgrounds and I soon cheer up. It's like walking around the garden. I soon cheer up if I do a few backgrounds. It takes my mind off everything. I joined your group today and I am so very happy to be here. Well, Carol, you're very welcome. It's lovely to have your company, Carol. And if you've ever got any questions, just give us a shout. Lots of people will help you. So it's lovely to have your company. So what I've got now, I mean, look at them backgrounds. How simple can you get for a background? And each background looks completely different. This one's got more blotches and so is this one. It's just fab. Oxides are just the best. I just love oxides. You will find that I'm a bit strange as well, Carol. You will find that. You'll find that I'm very odd. It doesn't take much to make me happy, Carol. I love creating with all my friends because you're all my creative friends now. So what I'm going to do is I've got my book here and one of these is going to go on the front cover like so. But what I'm going to do is collect all these together. I'll probably go with that one because it's got a nice shade. I love it, Jennifer. I'm just so loving the group at the moment. It really does make me happy. I'm so glad I set it up now. Do you like Strange and Odd, June? It's a good job you like Strange and Odd with me around. You're not odd. Carol says I should meet Carol. That'd be fab, Carol. I like a bit of odd, seriously. So what I'm doing is I'm applying, because I haven't cut this one from grey mount board, I'm applying the grey directly to the mount board just to colour it. Just to give it some layer of colour, and I'll show you why afterwards. Just applying a lovely layer of colour. And when you're applying with the oxides, as you ladies all know, because I do repeat myself, make sure you've got a good thick layer of ink. If you haven't got a good thick layer of ink, you are never going to get a good blend because you're trying to drag ink across a dry surface with not enough ink on there. So that's a beautiful blend of colour. My cut and dry foam is so old, it's been washed that many times. It's got a few bits on it. But I don't waste anything. I reuse it over and over again. So what I'm going to do now, like so. What are we saying? What would you use for the techniques, Tracy? Distress inks. Also, Diane, what you could do is, you know Dina Wakley's paints? You could put a tiny bit of Dina Wakley paints on a non-stick craft sheet, spritz them with water and mop the paint up like you would with the oxides, and you'll get a bit of a marbled effect. Allow it to dry and you'll get good depth of colour, but make sure it's completely dry, Diane, before you stamp on it, because if you don't make sure it's completely dry, you won't get a good image. but you could do that with the paints as well, Diane, because I love Dina's paints. So what I'm thinking is, you see, I mean, look at that. Just a simple background on a little book. And it just looks, look at that, looks so effective. And we haven't even stamped anything yet. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, Sylvienne. Hello. The grey oxide is, oh, my all-time favourite, Maria. Hickory Smoke. My all-time favourite. So what I'm going to do now is do some stamping. So what I'm going to do is, we can't find anything in here. I've got a total mess everywhere. I'm going to use a mix of stamps because I want to give some different stamps an airing. Pat Robinson, no soir. Hickory Smoke. I see Jennifer remembered. So I want to use this stamp because I love these little numbers here, because the number stamp comes separately. So I'm always using that. So I want to use that, and I want to use my brush flower because I haven't used it for a bit. I will have a play with the limited things I've got. Exactly, Diane. Try your paints because you get a lovely effect when you put a few paints on a non-stick craft sheet and spritz with water and mop them up. You get a lovely effect, honestly. Do I have that one? Maria's saying. You might have, Maria, if you look. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to stamp with grey. I'm not going to stamp with black. I'm going to stamp with grey. So I'm using VersaFine... Can't get my words out. I was trying to work out what the post meant, Pat. I was thinking you were telling me something in a different language, Pat. And I was trying to be clever and understand what you were doing. Got to go to the grocery store. Okay, Laura, have a lovely day. Hope your mum's okay. Catch you later. So I'm using Morning Mist VersaFine Clair. So I'm going to use Morning Mist for a change. And I'm going to use part of the stamp. I'm going to ink it all because I can't decide what part of the stamp I'm using. So I'm inking the whole thing because that's my choice, just to make it easy for me. So I'm going to give that a good ink. And I'm going to stamp. Did I do the back on this one? Ah, no, I didn't. So I'm going to stamp this and bring this on the side just to decide. Look, I mean, look at that background just from oxides. I just love it. Hello, Emmy. So I'm just deciding where I want this flower, and I often hold it around to decide. And just because you've got a big stamp doesn't mean you have to use the whole thing. You can use part of it. And it's nice to stamp in grey for a change rather than black. Hello, Francis. How are you? I love the name Francis. So I'm just lifting, as always, just to get a good impression. Now, all we've done is stamp it so far, and I'm going to add a bit more detail to it. So just rub that out off my non-stick craft sheet, and we're going to do something to add some more detail to it. I made a colour swatch tags for my VersaFine Clair ink pad so I can see the true... Yeah, that's a good idea actually, Carolyn. That's a good idea to make a colour swatch. So I'm just going to remove, as you know, I never clean my stamps. So I'm just removing some of the black from my stamp because I'm going to overstamp over this. So what I'm going to do is ink my stamp. Hello, Barbell, how are you? I'm going to ink my stamp with the Fossilised Amber Distress Oxide ink. And what you're doing is you're just inking the top part of your flower. Just the top part of your flower, not these numbers, just the top part of your flower, she says as she's got tissue stuck there. So can you see, I've just inked this top part of the flower. I've always used archival inks. Yes, the archival inks don't work very well for the bigger stamps. I've always used archival inks, Jane, but for the bigger stamps, they don't work as well because they dry too quickly. So I've added the Fossilised Amber to the flower, and what you're going to do is overstamp. Now don't worry, you're not aiming for a perfectly lined image, you're just adding the colour over the top of the grey to add a halo. and I will do it again. So ink your stamp up again with the fossilised amber, remove the ink from where you don't want it, and then go over the grey stamped image with the fossilised amber. So go over the top and lift. And let me lift this up to camera, and you will see there is a halo over the stamp. There's a halo of yellow because it tones down the grey. Now if you do that 5 or 6 times, you'll get a lovely dark halo of fossilised amber over the stamp. Just a different technique. So if you want to do it again, you do it again. Remove the excess ink from the top and then go over again. And it just tones down your stamped image with a halo of fossilised amber. And it just gets darker and darker and darker. Each time it gets darker, and it just tones down the grey. It gives you a different technique with your stamps, but it looks fab. Just love it. So that's one done. And then what I'm going to do is create another page with the same stamp. So I'm going to stamp with my grey again, so that I've got a second page with the same stamps. It works really well, Rachel, if you try it. So if you imagine with the grey, if you'd got like greys and reds or greys and pinks, if you choose the colour in the background, like the pink or the red, and you overstamp, it looks really effective. It works really well. So I'm going to create a second page with the same stamped image, because sometimes if you repeat an image in an accordion book, if you repeat an image in an accordion book, it gives you flow. It gives your image flow. So I'm going to stamp this on the opposite side and add a different bit of detail. But if you duplicate the image, it gives flow. Hello, Sue. Didn't realise you were on tonight. No, Sue, it's to decorate this book that I've been promising everybody. So I just decided off the cuff to get off my backside and do something. So can you see? Now let me show you the difference when you do the technique. Can you see the difference between this one and this one? Because that has had the fossilised amber stamped over the top, and that's got nothing stamped over the top. It gives you a totally different look to your stamp. Totally different. So I'm just going to add a couple of layers over this one. So you remove the black just to make sure you get the excess black off, and then add your fossilised amber. I'm only going to do it once on this one because we've done it once already. And just remove that ink from up there, and then you don't have to get it perfect, you just almost get it perfect. It doesn't really matter. You almost get it perfect. So there we go, we've got 2 stamped images. So we'll just place that on one side. So there's 2 of our pages. And what we need to do is just add some grey around the edges of our page. Oh, wrong way up. It is, it's softer, isn't it, Jackie? But it just gives you another technique to do with your stamps, just to maybe give your pages a different look. It's not always about making everything so complicated that you don't want to try it. The idea of this Facebook Live is that you're sitting there and you're feeling a bit fed up or bored. This is just to get you going, just so that you think, right, I'll give it a go. I just want something quick to do. I don't want something overcomplicated, so you just give it a try. And that's the whole point of this one. So now we're going to do another one. Oh, my numbers have stamped perfectly on me non-stick craft sheet. And what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use my A4 stamp. This one, if I can just get it out the plastic. I've got plastic chucked everywhere. Hello, Annie. Having internet problems, so we'll watch properly later on blog. No problem, Karen. I'll put it on YouTube for you. No problem at all. Put it on YouTube. So as you can see, this stamp is well loved. Very well loved, I have to say. I can't see any of the detail anymore. You could do a page or two every evening. Exactly, Jane. It doesn't have to be something that's rushed. But I'm very into miniature pieces of art. Like when we did these, you know, they're just such fun because they don't take too long to do and they're just fun. Little miniature pieces of art each time. I just love them. And it gets me, I don't know, if I'm feeling a bit fed up, it just gets the flow going again. Maybe that's me, but it definitely gets me going again. So I'm now trying to think where I want. Let me have a look at me. I can't see my stamp because it's well loved, unfortunately. It's very well loved. So we've got this art here. So I'm going to use this part of the stamp. And again, I'm going to use grey. It's huge, isn't it, Diane? Yes, it's an A4 stamp. An A4 stamp, Diane. So I'm just going to ink this part of the stamp up. And I don't know quite what I'll get. So we'll just ink that up, and then I'm going to take my card to the stamp and press over. And just take the card to the stamp. It's very well loved, this is. My first All and Create stamp. Oh, Sally, I was so chuffed when I did this one. I can remember it as if it was 5 minutes ago when I created this stamp. I was so chuffed having one of my first stamps in A4 size. I couldn't believe it. A4 size. And that gives you a background in one. Already a background totally. It works fantastically. So we can add another little bit of detail to that. I wonder, you see I've got half a circle here. I wonder if there's half a circle. So if I want it like that, so it goes like that. So I wonder if we can stamp this half a circle. Let me see if I can get it to work. So we want the R and the T. Do you like how I talk to myself? It might not work, but we can use it on something else. So R and T. I've got half a circle here. Now I wish I'd have ordered that one today along with my order. Oh, what did you order, Carol? Oh, did you go on earlier? Sorry, yes, Carol, of course you did. We emailed. Do you know, sometimes I wonder if I've got a brain cell in my head. I do worry about myself at times. So I can create 2 backgrounds with this. So what I can do here, you could, I don't want to add this here. I'm going to add that to another page. But look, you could add it to the edge of a page like that, which is what I'll probably do. I'll add it to the edge of my page because that gives another look as well. So I'll add that to the edge of the other page. But this is what I like playing around with. I love playing around with these things. So we've got a 3rd page, and then on the 4th page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a sentiment. Just a sentiment this time. It certainly isn't Jennifer. What did Jennifer say? Oh, I've missed it again. Yay, Kim, her Chanda stamps. You see, when I go to look for Jenny, it won't be your last. Yay, Jennifer. So I'm going to use a sentiment stamp now. So I'm just playing here. So I think I dream of painting and then I paint my dreams. Oh, yes, I do. So let's use this one. I can't get my stamp out now. You can tell it's live. So what did you order, Carol? Oh, Maria's asking, Carol, what you ordered. Yes, thank you, Maria, for recommending me. Bless you. So what I'm thinking is I can add my little sentiment there. I dream of painting and then I paint my dreams. I don't know whether I could paint my dreams. My dreams are very bizarre when I remember them, so I don't think I could. I saw the very first All and Create show on a Chanda with a French gentleman. That's Abs, Diane. That's Abs, that is, who owns All and Create. So he's Algerian. I dream of painting, so we're going to add that there. I can't even remember whether I added enough ink because I'm too busy yakking. You see, I love how you all talk to each other. You see, look at that. You see, I love that. Just a sentiment on its, a sentiment on its own. I dream of painting and then I paint my dreams. And what I'm going to do you remember this number stamp here that was part of the brush flower? Do you remember this number stamp? I'm now going to stamp in grey in the background. I've been wondering who the mysterious Abs was. Yes, Abs owns All and Create. And he's the gentleman that accepts my designs or doesn't, whatever the choice may be. So I'm just going to add these. Oh yeah, you see, this is what I like about this little number stamp. I can add them in the background and it doesn't overtake everything. I'll hold this up so you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that can be a page as well. I know, I love that sentiment. I just think it, but you see, the thing is though, I'm really into sentiments, Annie. I love sentiments. Which stamp set is that sentiment from, please, Tracy? It's this one, Carolyn. I have to take it out the plastic because you can't see a thing. It's called Frame It. It's got I Dream of Painting, that one. It's got Creativity Takes Courage, Create Your Dreams. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. And then it's got the borders as well. So I love that. What, inky hands, Tracy? Oh, yeah, of course I have. Disgusting inky hands. I've always got inky hands. So it's me. So what I spend my time doing is going round and adding these little details. I just love adding little details to each page. And you can't have too many embellishments because obviously your pages won't shut if you have too many embellishments. Hickory Smoke. Thank you, Joanne, for answering everybody's question. Thank you. Hickory Smoke. So if you look now, we've got 4 pages like so. And what I'm going to do this time is take a circle and I'm going to, whoops. So I've got 4 pages. Look how simple it is to create these pages. Oops. I wish you could see my craft room. What a mess. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this stamp again and I'm just deciding where to go. Probably art again. Yes, I'm going to go with art again. But I'm going to use this part this time. What are we saying? Got to go. Okay, Eugenie. Oh, 5 to go. I thought you were saying I'm going. Aside from everyday sentiments, I need to get some more like this. Yes, I like some different sentiments, but then that's me. I love sentiments because sometimes a card doesn't have to have an image on, does it? It can just have a sentiment. It doesn't have to have a stamped image. I just love it if it's just got a sentiment. So I'm using the circle now and I'm going to add part of the image to the circle, like so. I'm going with the flow, to be honest. I haven't really got a plan. Obviously I've got one that I've created before, but I haven't really got a plan. So just, yes, I'll show you what I'm going to do. Let me just blot that, just so that I don't get inky fingers. I love a good sentiment too, Jennifer. It's just, I just love the fact that it's just an hour, just creating for the fun of it. I love that. But now what I'm going to do is add a touch of white. So I'm going to add this to here and chop it. So I'm going to add that there. I have to talk to myself because it goes in better. The cheese on my pasta bake is all crispy and bubbling. That might be telling you that you've got to go, Joanne, to eat it. Does it look yummy? I bet it looks yummy, doesn't it? So I'm just going to add this to here. So stick that down like so. Let me just get my scrap paper just to make sure it's down. Turn it over and let's cut that down. Perfect. So now I've got a touch of white to my page. Just trim that bit there. There we go. I just keep chucking everything on the floor. Why don't I get my bin? Everything's just going on the floor. I'm just slinging it behind me. Nah, it'll wait in the oven. Joanne, you're going to be cursing me later when you've got burnt food. You won't be very happy. So what we can do now is we can get another little flower stamp. You see, look at how much fun it is just creating these little pages. And we've only got 3 left and we've nearly done a little book. It's just fab. I just love doing it for the fun of it. Just creating for the fun. So what I'm going to do now is add some little flowers. Most of my stamps are so well loved. I've got that much plastic on the floor. What are we saying? What's your channel called, Annie? Is this your YouTube channel? Just finished recording a new tutorial for my channel. Hope will make you proud, Tracy. Oh, bless you, Annie. Your work's beautiful. Trust me, I love seeing everybody's shares. And I don't just say that. I love seeing everybody's artwork. Trust me. So I now need another acrylic block. I'm using that many acrylic blocks. And I'm going to add this stamp to my background. But I need to have another little bit of spare card. A bit of spare white card. Bear with me a second. I'm getting through so much white card at the moment, are you? The folded books are very tricky to stamp. Yes, you could stamp before you fold them, but what I tend to do is add bits to them, to be honest, rather than stamp on them. I add bits to them and do it that way. I quite like doing it that way. So what I'm going to do is stamp my little flower onto my background. And I'm just loving the process, just creating for the sake of creating. And I'm going to add this flower here. Hopefully I'm still in camera because I'm miles away. I'm sorry, I shared mine twice. I wasn't happy with the sentiment on the first one. No problem, Carol. You shared yours twice, did you, Joanne? So I'm just going to add 2 flowers. Like so. You see, I'm not in a rush tonight because I've had my tea and I'm just creating for the fun of it because that's what I want to do. I just want to enjoy the process. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just enjoying the process. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a bit of ink just to this scrap piece of card just so that I can stamp my flowers on it. It's back, fossilised amber, it's back. So I'm just going to dab this just so that I've got a background just to stamp my flowers on. It doesn't need to be too dark. I just need a touch of that colour. Just give that a dry. I'm hungry, not had my tea yet. Oh, Anne, go and get your tea. I didn't realise. You can easily catch this on YouTube. And you still hear my inane waffling. But yes, you can catch it on YouTube because I'll put it on YouTube for those ladies that are eating the tea. So I'm just adding another layer of colour. I love this. Look at that, how rich that fossilised amber is. Just wonderful. Just give that a dry. Oh no, trust me, I'm an amateur, Annie. Seriously, I'm an amateur. But I just enjoy what I do. I love being creative. I love sharing. And as you can see, I like chatting as well. I like to make it seem easy, Eugenie, because to be honest, I can't do anything complicated. And I don't want to do anything too complicated because then I lose interest if it's too complicated. I'm not interested. I can't be bothered if it's too complicated. If I need a degree to do it, then I've lost all interest. I just can't do it. I don't want to do that. I like it to break it down into simple steps, just to make it easy for everyone. So I'm just going to block that, just so that I wish you could see my desk, Eugenie. Honestly, what a mess. Unbelievable. So I've got my scissors back to front. I love creating, Annie. I love creating. And it's nice as well, you know, because we're in funny times at the moment. Because we're in a funny times at the moment, to be honest, I'm really enjoying being creative. I'm enjoying the process. I'm loving it. And doing it, you know, just for fun, because we like sharing. I like doing that. It's just, I love it. I like simple as well, Jane. It doesn't always have to be overly complicated that you need a degree to do it, you know, 6/5/8 of an inch. And I mean, obviously, you know, there are people that are very precise, and I'm very, you know, bowled over by their talent. But I have to do simple things that make me happy, that are not too complicated. But that's just me. So there we've got our 2 flowers. I'm going to add these, but before I add these, let's add a touch of the stenciling. So I've got this wood grain stencil. Still wait for my alcohol inks to come. I wish they would hurry up. Exactly, Jennifer. They need to hurry up so you can. Oh, I love that technique. So you can get on with them. Mind you, I'm so impatient. I am. I'm terrible. It's not my best trait. I ordered some paints and I can't wait for the paints to come, but I'm so impatient. So I'm just adding some Distress Oxide here to my stencil, and I'm just going to spritz that with water lightly. I've just spritzed the stencil with water, and I'm hoping I've put enough ink on the stencil. You make it look so easy. Why does it take me ages to do one card? Oh, Nicola, it's different though when you're live. You know, you've got to sort of try and keep the flow, or else you'd all be nodding off. But I love to see everybody's cards, and you all do a different take as well. That's what's the best bit for me. You all do something completely different. And that's what being creative is all about. We all do something different. But look at that stenciling in the background. And look how tiny the page is. Just because it's tiny doesn't mean it can't have lots of interest. Tracy, is it okay to post my measurements for the accordion boot workshop in that group? Is it okay to post my measurements for the accordion boot workshop in that group as I work at... Yes, of course it is, BJB. You can, of course you can. I'm old-fashioned and post in inches. If you want to post that in centimetres, be my guest. Absolutely no problem at all. With pleasure. If you want to post in centimetres, absolutely. So I'm just going to add this here. But just because you've got little pages doesn't mean those little pages have to be dull and uninteresting. A little page can be interesting. It really can. So I'm just going to add some of these little numbers. But this time, to give it some life, because we've got black grey there, I'm going to stamp in grey first. I'm getting everything all in the way. I love how you all tell each other all about the shops, and I'm in my own little world here, miles away. I love how you just all carry on. It's brilliant. So I'm just adding some numbers to a couple of my pages. There we go. I'll hold these up. But can you see that I've got a lot of grey on here? So I'm going to add a touch of black with these numbers. Not much, just a touch. Just to give it some life. Just a touch. That is perfect. I don't need much more than that. Just a little touch of black. Absolutely perfect. Don't need any on that. That's fine. So I'll just hold these up. So can you see on that tiniest page, we've got stamping, stenciling, a little bit of dimension, and it's a tiny page. It's fab. You don't have to have too much. And then what I'm going to do is bring these pages in, and let's add a touch of white to the pages. So we'll take a bit of white paint, white fresco paint. A Joanna Sheen fan here. You fire away. I don't mind when you all recommend the local shops. So we're just going to add some touches of white with our lid, just to bring some white touches to our pages, just to give it some vibrancy, just so that it's not, so that your page is not dull at all. Just give it some vibrancy. So we're just adding some touches of white to our pages. Just brings everything to life. That's perfect. I love the little small panels. Exactly. You could just do so many things, BJB. Definitely. You could do so many little things. I mean, I make a mess of all my lids, but that's beside the point. We're not talking about tidy desk here, are we? So just clean our mess up so we don't get our little panels into too much of a mess. And we can let them dry for a minute. But look how lovely they're looking. Just those panels like that. Just place them like this. And then I've got these last two panels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my teasel for one. Finally got here. Hello, Trudy. That's all right, Trudy. Plenty to catch up on later. I'm going to use my teasel stamp. And again, just because it's a huge stamp, I mean, look at the size of the stamp. It's a huge stamp. Doesn't mean I can't use it just for the little ones. Everyone buying and pricing. Yeah, what is everybody buying and pricing? Have I missed that? Is it oxides? It does make it pop, doesn't it, Diane? It just gives it a little bit more vibrancy, I think. So I'm now going to use this one, which you can see is quite a big stamp. But just because it's big doesn't mean I can't use it. So I'm now going to stamp in my grey. Nearly stamped in the black then. I wondered what you were all pricing. Distress Oxides. I wondered what you were doing. So I'm just going to ink this teasel up with the grey. And we only need the flower head, so that's fine. So I'm not even going to use an acrylic block. I'm just going to use it as is without a H. And just stamp it here. Yes, I love the teasel. I like teasels in my garden, Annie. I've just planted another teasel my friend gave to me because I lost my teasels in the garden. But now she's given me another one, so hopefully I'll have teasels back in the garden again because I love them for the birds as well. But there you go, that massive image, and we've just got part of the image there. We don't have to use the whole thing. So we've got part of the teasel there. So our book is beautifully coming together. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go, we're nearly there. Nearly there. So just move that one out the way. What are we saying? Good night, Serena. Hope work goes okay, Serena. Well, it's my bedtime. Good night, Serena. Oh, thanks, Roz. So I've now got these two backgrounds here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just mixing and matching my stamps because that's what I can do on these little backgrounds. And that's the reason for this live, was just to enjoy myself and not stress too much about everything. So I'm just, look at my stamp set. Do you think it's well loved? What we're saying, I'm missing conversations. So I'm just using whatever stamp sets I want to use. I've got to put all these back afterwards. I dread the fact that I have to put them all back because I've been messy. I've been too messy. So I'm now going to add this. But when you're going with the flow, that's what we do. So I'm now going to add part of this stamped image. Just move these. I'm going to add this to these two. So I'm going to add this here. Again, stamping in the grey. Let's move this out the way. Did you just get this one, Linda? Yay! So I'm going to stamp this in the grey. I have got grey, yes, Morning Glory. So I'm going to stamp in the grey. I like doing the technique I did at the beginning with this one, Linda. I love doing that technique with this one. It works really well. So what I'm going to do is stamp part of this image onto my background. And we're not going to leave it like that. We're not leaving it like that. So there's one, and then we're going to stamp it again. Stamp it again. And we're going to add more depth to that, like we did before. You snuck it into, you're supposed to be on a day off. I know, I was supposed to be on a day off. Sorry, Dawn. But then I realised I'd promised everybody I would decorate this book. And to be honest, when I've promised something, I have to make sure that I deliver, because it's just the way I am. So now let's take that up another level. So we now need to use our Distress Oxide, Fossilised Amber, and let's go over the top with the Fossilised Amber like we did before. Don't forget, you don't need to be perfect. It just needs to be a halo. So you don't need to be perfect. And it'll work really well on this stamp. So take your oxide again and stamp over the top. Which stamp set is that one from, please, Carol? Honestly, Carol, you should see my room. It's from this one, Carol, 200. And it's got lots of other stamps. The sentiments: begin with small steps, do new things every day, believe in yourself, make a difference. And what else has it got? Imagine. So it's got quite a few on that one. Stamp set 200. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer some more on this one, just so you can see the difference when I hold it up for you, because this one works fantastic with this technique. Let me hold this up for you. Look at the difference between them two, how that's got more life than that one's got. That one's got more life. Oh my, Tracy, now I know to always... Sorry, Belinda, it was just an off the cuff for the people I'd promised the books. So can you see that one has got more oomph? It's got some of the oxide ink round the edges, and it's got more depth than that one. In real life, it's even better. So I would add more layers to that. I would add 5 layers to that of the oxide ink. So add your fossilised amber over the top. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be perfect. And the more it isn't perfect, the better it actually is for this stamp. For this stamp, don't be perfect. Get it slightly off. And I just love how that looks. Look at that. Just love it. And all we're doing is creating a little book. Just makes me happy. I love creating little books. I just think they're such fun. And I'm going to add some of them numbers. Morning yes, it is. Morning Mist, the Versifying Claire is. Tracy does put on Facebook when she's on. I did, Alison, but I was a bit last minute with this one because I decided I'd promised everybody I'd do this live. And then I kept saying, I'll wait a bit longer, I'll wait a bit longer. And I thought, no, it's time to get my bottom in gear and start creating with this one. And to be honest, I'm really enjoying the process. Just enjoying going with the flow and enjoying what I'm doing. And again, I'm going to add some little touches of white to that one, just to make it all pop. And then we'll start sticking it together and adding the final details. I had to dash, it's called... It's something totally different. Oh, sorry. Am I on a different planet, Tracy, again? Oh, Morning Glory is totally different. Morning Glory is a beautiful flower in the garden, Tracy. I've got Morning Glory, or did have last year, but it's not hardy. So yes, Morning Glory is a lovely, beautiful blue plant in the garden. So I wanted to add those white details. Let's add some white details to this one as well. And then we'll start to put this together and add some little touches that I fancy adding. That's it. I'm sorry, but I have to talk to myself. It goes in better. I think the circles, Belinda, just give it a bit of life. And the white, you know what I'm like about white, Belinda? I love white. There's just something about it, I have to say. There's something about my desk, I know that much. My desk looks like a bomb's landed. Do you ever do that? You start off with a gallon of space, and then I end up working in an inch of space. It's ridiculous. I just think the white circles just add a little bit more. And I know you can't see it on camera, but I'm just adding some colour around the edges On this piece, because I've got a white edge on the accordion, it'll just add a bit more. So I'm just making sure I add a touch of the grey to the edges. I don't always do this because sometimes I don't want it. For me, there's always a place. So I'm just adding it to these. But I told you, nothing complicated. Just enjoying the fact that I want to be creative and I don't have to do something too complicated. Space gets smaller and smaller, doesn't it, Babs? Honestly, I am dreadful. My space gets terrible. But you see, you've now got all these, and then you can play around with things. So let's bring in our first one. Which one? So this is going to be my focal image on here, definitely. So it already is coming to life. So let's put the covers on. I want to put it together because some ladies or gentlemen will join later and they want to know how it's put together, what it looks like. So don't worry if you need to go while I'm putting it together, but I want to add some little finishing touches. So I'm just adding this to here, like so. What are we saying? I usually end up using a table of 2 meters by 90 centimeters, or for myself. Joanna, I need a massive table. Trust me, I need a massive table. So I'm going to add it back and front so that I've got both when I turn it over, like so. So I'm going to add it both here like this. My glue's going, but I'm determined to use every little bit. It's adorable, isn't it? I love these little books, Belinda. I'm into little books at the moment, I'm afraid. I'm afraid they're a bit addictive. I'm very into them. They're very addictive. And we don't want any glue showing. So just make sure that is adhered down there. I just have to have a little, look at the state of my hands. I just have to have a little, I'll have to wipe my hands because I don't want to ruin it because my hands are grubby. I have my bed right behind my tiny craft desk. Yes, but look what you produce in your little tiny craft desk, Belinda. Works of art. I'm just loving little books at the moment. And end up with about 6 inches of square. Sue, I'm exactly the same. And Sue's got a whole workshop. So I'm glad it happens to all of you as well. Now, I'll give you one guess. Where are they? What am I going to add here? What do you think I'm going to add here? What do you think? No, it's true, Belinda. Yes, I'm going to add an index clip because it needs one. So I'm going to add an index clip here, like so. Little index clip there. And we're going to add an index clip on the opposite side of the book. And then we'll put the accordion together while this is drying, because those will need a few minutes to dry. So at the moment, this is our book, but that's just the front and back cover at the moment. So let's bring in the index clip. Posca pens, yes, we need some splatters. I nearly forgot my splatters. We've got to have some splatters. Let's make sure there's some on that spine so it looks like it belongs to it all. That's better. Metal embellishment, too right. So we're just going to move that out the way and we're going to bring in our accordion, like so. So the accordion is on there. Let me, my clips haven't, why did I put my clips on first? So that needs to stick down. That's it. So just get me accordion so that it's right. That's better. So what we need to do is if I bring the one in that's already done, we need to stick the accordion down here. So that's okay. So I need to put the page. That's it. So we'll stick our pages on now, just so it all looks like a proper design. So I'm now going to add my pages. And it's just a nice, simple book, but I just love the process of adding little details. And my light isn't very good, so that's it. I'm having to lift it up just so I can see where I'm going, because around my book I've got a little white edge. That's why I was saying that I was adding grey ink to the outside edges, because I was just... So we add this here. Do you talk to yourself when you craft? My elastic, oh, something like Kelsey Elastics or something. Well, that reminds me, where have I put my elastic? You've just reminded me then. Kelsey Elastics, I think they're called. Kelsi or something like that. And that they've got a lovely selection of elastics. So I've just, yeah, it's just these little details, Belinda. I don't like rushing the little details. So I just like to make sure that I just get every page in line. And you just have to wait a couple of seconds just so that glue grabs. You don't have to be in too much of a rush. But just look how little the pages are. But you can still add lots of detail. So we'll add a white element here. And you could draw around this with a grey pencil as well, just to highlight it a bit more. So you need to think about the little details as well. Don't just be in a rush to finish it off. Obviously, when I'm doing a Facebook Live, you can't watch me for 5 hours because you'd be nodding off. But you need to think about those little details. So just... And I'm just having to lift it up because the light is not brilliant in my craft room now. Just adding this here. There we go. Just making sure that it sticks. So I have to make sure it gets a good adhesion. That's okay, you get the right answer, Babs. It's like you talking to yourself, Babs, like I'm doing. Because I talk to myself all the time. And then what I'm going to do, I mean, even that little, I'm even happy with that sentiment on its own. Just the sentiment on its own. I just love it. Can you tell? I'm not wasting my glue, so I keep doing it. Kelsey cords, that's it. Thank you, Pat. Kelsey cords, thank you. You see, I can always rely on you to all understand what I'm talking about. Most of the time, I talk a load of drivel. So at least you know what planet I'm on. So Pat's got that right. It's Kelsey cords. Thank you, Pat. Or it could be just that Pat's a shopaholic like me. Because I'm a shopaholic. I'm now going to... You see, this is coming along beautifully. I've just flicked glue all over me. Obviously, when you're doing this at home, you won't be in as much of a rush as I am. You will take your time just to add those little details. You could even do some doodling as well. Some little doodles on the pages would be nice as well. I think they would. Some little black doodles. This is coming along lovely. And all we've done is some stamping, bits of paint. And do you remember we started off with a basic inky background? That's all we started off with. I don't think I've got enough pages here, but that doesn't matter. We get the idea. Oh, I am too. I'm missing the conversation. What size millimetre cord do you use for the tiny book? I use 1.5 on mine this time. I'll show you. She says, I'm just flicking my glue all over the place just while I get it to adhere. I am watching your comments. It's just I have to stick my head down to make sure my pages are glued down. The craft takes over your brain, Tracy. The craft takes over my brain. What brain, Cat? What brain, Dawn? I haven't got a brain. I've told you my brain's the size of a pea. I don't have any brain cells. I never have had. I'm just, you know. So I'm just making sure. You see, that isn't stuck down enough. So I'm going to have to add some more glue. That's because I waffled so much. If I stopped waffling and stuck to gluing, we'd be all right. If you could see my trousers, they're covered in glue and paint. But I'm determined I'm going to do it properly and make sure it sticks properly. The bit you have, I've only got a bit. Yes, Dawn, that's very true. Yes. Cheeky. Dawn's giving me a bit of jip now. Have you noticed? So really, I've still got 2 pages to decorate, but I can do them when we're not live, because now I'll show you how I just add my elastic. Whoops. Just add this page. I use every drop of glue because I won't waste any. And none of my stamps were tiny stamps. I used a whole mix of stamps for my accordion, like so. And as you can see, this is what we've got so far. We've got our book covers, like so. I look a little cutout and found it stuck to the bottom of my bottom of your. I do that quite a few times as well. I have to say, I have things stuck to my hands. Oh, the worst one, Belinda, is I have things stuck to my bottom. I always walk out with things stuck to my bottom. So it's an attractive look. It really is an attractive look. It's lovely. So what I'm going to do is add my circle. I'm not measuring. I'm just piercing a hole into the centre of my book, like so. My nail's broken, look. My nail's broken. I can't keep nice nails at the moment. And I've got my cut. I guess we all have similar experience. It's a good job, really, because then I don't look so balmy, Annie. Look, my nails broke. Oh, right in the middle of crafting. Right, so I've got my cord. The bigger stamps on the little panels make it look like you spent hours building it up. I know, Jane, it proves that just because you've got a big stamp doesn't mean you have to make a huge project at all. You don't have to. And I've still got 2 pages to decorate here. And you know, I've just enjoyed the process of using the stamps. I've enjoyed it. And what I'm going to do now, live, which is not a good thing, is try and get my elastic through this little hole here. So I'm feeding both ends of my elastic through my hole and hoping that while we're live, it doesn't take me 10 hours. There's one piece through. I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. It's easier to explain when I've got 2 pieces of elastic. There we go. So can you see I've thread my elastic through the book. I've stuck to you. No, Ian just says I'm a tramp, Dawn. He says he can't take me anywhere. So what I do is I don't cut it because I want to decide what length I want the elastic. So what I do is I test the elastic over and just make sure there's a bit of room. So then I tie my knot. I don't tie my knot until I've judged what size elastic I need. So then I tie my little knot in the book. Let me show you. I'm sorry that I'm a bit cack-handed. So I'm not trimming it. I close the book, and obviously the book will be a bit thicker, and I just test the elastic will fit around the book. So I just test it like that, and then I trim this so that it's neat. We don't want those rough, so we trim that then so it's nice and neat. Okay, and then what I do is I add this accordion piece, whoops, to my book. And what I'm going to do first, just so that we finish it off properly, don't let's rush and not finish it off properly. I'm going to add some grey ink, which you will do before you add your front panels. Obviously I'm just going with the flow, but I will add inside pages. So I'm just colouring the edges of my panels because I will add panels to the inside. So I will add panels like this to the inside pages so that they're decorated. What time is it? Do you mean the 1 day special? I don't even know what anybody's talking about now. I've lost the plot. What time is it? Mind you, I'm in no rush. I don't know what I'm worrying for. I can just carry on. So just cover these edges like so. Oh yes, it just makes sense because I don't want it. So let's bring this let's stick this down. Do you think I should treat myself to a new glue? I tell you, I use every drop. I don't waste any. And then I'm going to stick this to here. And what you do is you lift it up to make sure that it isn't right by the seam here. Where the book folds, you don't want your accordion right up to the edge because it won't fold properly if you have it right up to the edge. So then what you do is you fold your accordion like so and make sure that you've got it all neatly lined up. I hope that makes sense. And then undo your accordion, okay? See, I'm liking these little books. I'm loving these little books. You see, and then I would just decorate my last two pages. 8.20. Oh, sod it, I'm going to carry on, Pat. One day special, you showed us stamps. Yes, the one day special, that's on Monday and Tuesday. The one day special is Monday and Tuesday, and that's got the fritillaria, the passion flower, and what's it called? It's gone out my head. It's on my desk somewhere. It's gone out my head. Something textured. It's got an A7 stamp as well. So I'm just creating another two backgrounds because I'm finishing my book. Tracy, you've got me hooked on these tiny books. Honestly, Belinda, is it decorated both sides? No, Linda, I've just done one side because if you watch me decorate two sides, I think you might be nodding off and it might be midnight. But I would, if you wanted to, decorate both sides. But obviously your book might be quite thick then. So then you might need a thicker piece of elastic, just remember. Just remember about your elastic if you're going to decorate both sides. I have on some books. I don't always decorate both sides, but I do on some. So I'm going to add sentiments to these to finish it off. Any idea of price on the one day special? I don't, Diane. They don't tell me that information. They only tell me which of my stamps are going on the one day special. They never tell me the price. I never know. They don't tell me that information, unfortunately. Or else I'd share it with you all. So yeah, they just tell me what videos they need. You said 1.5 millimeters, not 1.8, Belinda, 1.5. You might get away with 1.8. You'd have to make a slightly bigger hole. That's all. But yes. So just going to add this. I'm just adding a little bit more depth because I want to finish this now. I want it to be done properly. Yes, it is 1.5, Anne. Thank you. 1.5 elastic. I like that size elastic. It just seems, for me, it's perfect. I don't seem to need anything finer. I'm going to write that down. 1.5, Belinda, definitely. So where's my sentiments? Let's bring these sentiments back in because I'm going to add sentiments to these. How the heck have I put these together? That's it. I'm going to add this bigger sentiment here. I love sentiments. It's nice to complete it. It is, Sue. And more often than not, I'm always in a rush because I've been on an hour or so. No, I'm finishing it. Why not? I'd only be sitting downstairs, so I'm going to finish it and I'm going to do a proper job. So I'm now going to add my sentiment, move my accordion out the way so that you can actually see what I'm doing. No, you can't. Let me just lift my accordion out the way. That's better. Just add this here, like so. I love the sentiments, Belinda, but that's because when I'm doing a little book, even though I love the little details, I don't want to over clutter every page just so that it gives some balance. Just so that every page is not cluttered. You see, that's not too cluttered. It's not stamped straight, so that's going to irritate me. I'm going to have to do it again. You see, it proves that some of us, we don't always get it right. I can't have that page. It's not right. It's not straight. So I've got to do it again. Sorry. It has to be done properly or I'm not doing it at all. There we go. Stay well and safe, Jane. I noticed that because Anna said that. Hang on. Have you got to make some of these small books? The colours work so well and a real work of art. Oh, bless you, BJB. That's better. It's straight. It wasn't straight before. I'm sorry, but I can't be doing with when it's not straight. Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. There you go. I decided which ones to keep there. Did you notice? And what's a good thing about these is, it passes an hour away, but you don't feel like that you have to tax your brain too much. You're just going with the flow of the project. That's what I like. They're just fun to create. I just love them. I think they're just such fun to create. So just wipe that up because there's enough fossilised amber there. I'm talking to myself again. What stamp this is? Let's get this out. Hang on. While I'm drying this, I'll put that there. This is stamp 282. Frame it. And I use the sentiments all the time, but then I have to have sentiments that I know I'll use, and I use them all the time, I must admit. So what I'm going to do now, what am I going to stamp on there? Do you like how I talk to myself all the time? What we're going to do this time is we're going to have, sorry, I'm having to reach for my stamps. I do apologise. But it doesn't matter if you disappear. I can stay here on my own. No problem at all. I'm going to use one of these stamps. What are we saying? What stamp is that? What, that is so true. Tracy, you always do a proper job. Oh, bless you, Dawn. I have to do a proper job, Dawn, because if I don't, I can't leave it half finished or totally messy. It has to look like I care about what I'm doing. Because just because something's simple doesn't mean it doesn't take a while to put together. It doesn't mean that, it's not thought about. It has to be. Even if I do a simple project, I like to think about it. I don't like to rush it. And what I'm going to do, you guessed it, is add some of the fossilised amber to the top of this flower. Laundry took out trash and Tracy was demoing. You can rely on me, Belinda, to be unpredictable. You know what I'm like. Miss Unpredictable decides to go live at the last minute. I'm just adding some fossilised amber over the top, and then I'm going to go back to my numbers because this number stamp is just, I love it. I love this number stamp. I just love how it adds random numbers to the background. And then I'm going to add some numbers, just slightly, because then it makes every page cohesive because I've used those numbers throughout. And then we've got to add some touches of white. Kelsey Cords, I believe. That is absolutely bang on, thanks to Pat. Kelsey Cords. I'm just adding these white dots because the white just gives it some life. Tracy, I know you are not using it at the minute, but what is the gel medium you use to stick things down? Do you mean bulky things, Sonia, or just flat things? Do you mean bulky things, Sonia, when I want to, if it's that, it's Dina Wakey, oh good grief, Dina Wakeley ultra thick gel. That's what I use when I'm adding something with some bulk. Watch this space, Nicola, for bumblebee or honeybee. Yes, but you see, again, we're finishing it properly. Whoops. And I'm then going to blend some ink around the side. What are we saying? Just again, blending some of that ink round the side just to finish it off properly. Because normally I'm in a rush with the Facebook Lives because I'm aware of how long I've been on. But then because I'm in my group, it doesn't matter because everybody can watch this on Rewind. Not Rewind, on YouTube. I always say Rewind. I think I'm at a chandy. I say Rewind every time. Just bring in our accordion book, like so. I think I'm still 1 page short now. I am. So I'm going to add creativity here. I've nearly given away all my secrets, Belinda. I'm useless at keeping secrets, I am. Absolutely useless. I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera, but I'm shaking my glue out of the bottle. I'm going to add that sentiment here, like so. I'm just going to reach that. I will show it properly in camera. I won't sort of keep it to myself. I keep moving it out of camera. So I'm just sticking that down, but I want to make sure it's stuck down properly. And then I'm going to add this one here. And I know what I'm going to do next. I know what little touches. Come on, Tracy. I think I'm going to have to trick myself to another glue. I'm determined to get to the end of this live with this glue. You're very welcome, Sonia. If that isn't what you were talking about, you can message me or just tell me here if you were thinking of something else. I do use a matte medium as well, but that's when I'm just adhering flat things like tissue or... But no, if it's bulky things, then it's Dina Wakley's heavy body or ultra thick. Why don't I just get it and stop waffling? Let me get it. Sonia, it's that one. Ultra thick gel medium. Watch this space, Linda. That's all I'm going to keep saying. Watch this space. Watch this space. So all we've got is 1 page to do. But that doesn't matter. We can leave that because I'd have to cut that page. So we're then going to add some splatters to the pages. You see, that needs to stick down. I can't have it unstuck. I'm going to add some splatters just to our pages. Each page has got to have some splatters just to make it, even if it's just a few, even if it's just, I'm making myself dizzy. And then what I'm going to do, just to add another little detail, and then we're nearly finished. I think I'm going to, just let me move my iPad. I'm just going to trick myself to another glue. Store it upside down, that's a good idea. Joanne, you see, I didn't bring my brains with me tonight. That was the, you know, sorry about that. But I'm just going to adhere this bit here. I think I have to shake them all because even when they're new, I have to shake the glue down to the bottom. Sorry, I'm getting my head in the way now. Oh, why does glue never work when you want it to? That's it. I'm going to get my hair off with this glue in a minute. Now you need that splatter stamp. Yep, exactly. But you never know. You'll have to watch this space. This piece just does not want to stick at all. Let me just hold that down so that it sticks, because I just want to add another little touch, which is this. A little strip of calico. So this isn't a bulky embellishment. This is a little embellishment. So what I can do is cut this. Make sure you've got a jaggedy edge. Don't make sure you haven't got a straight edge. And what I can do is, after, when we've finished on camera, I can just add a little embellishment piece like this with my numbers. So ink my numbers in black. It doesn't matter that you were late. So I'm inking my numbers in black, and I'm going to add it to a little bit of this calico. So I'll just lift this up. And because you can't add bulky embellishments to this, because obviously your book won't close. But what you can do is make your own embellishments with some calico by just stamping those numbers. That's a good idea, Linda. So this will just give me an embellishment. So then I can add it to my stamped images. So what you can do is you can go around adding a little bit of embellishment to each page. But it doesn't. You can't add bulky embellishments. So I'm just adding pieces of calico. So I will do that to every page. Like so. But that just gives it, if you look at that, I would spend time adding those calico pieces just because it gives it a little bit more detail, don't you think? Just adding that little bit of calico just gives, that's like a flat embellishment, because you can't add bulky embellishments. So then you can close your book up like so, close your accordion. Oh, look how nice and chunky it is. Take your elastic and there's your book. But what I would do, I would probably add a little word here. No, I won't. I'm going to add a little number there. But when I've never quite finished, I've always got one other little bit to do. That's better. I've never quite finished. But that's your little book. And I just, look at that, look how chunky it is. Little chunky little book. I'm just so chuffed with it. And don't forget your spine. Add some splatters to your spine, just so that it looks. So there's your little book that way. You open your little book and then you open the accordion. But if you add some calico pieces like we've done here, that will just add a bit more interest to your page. And maybe, just on a couple of the pages, like this one that's a bit more blank than the others, just add some doodles to your pages, just to give it a little bit more interest. And when I doodle, I don't look at the screen. But just think about your pages, how you can add those little details. And Jane has stamped 14 of her pages whilst watching. And Jane, isn't it fun just doing the book? I just love the little book. I love it. Just got one page to do. But I'm going to add calico bits to mine. Definitely going to add calico bits to mine. And I think this little number stamp, I'm going to add to each little page a little bit. Because that, look at that little bit of black. That little bit of black just makes it all pop. It just brings some life. Can you see? Let me hold that up. So if you add a little bit of doodling and a bit of calico, I think that is just fab. And they're both so different, look. This one is totally different to my first one. Totally different. But when they're shut, they're just so solid. I absolutely love them. Do you know, and I really enjoyed that. Just creating for the fun of it. Exactly, yes, Belinda, like a pop of white, but only in black. It just, that little pop just brings it to life, but you've got the grey numbers underneath as well. I just love it. And little doodles as well. I think little doodles as work as well. Belinda, it's Eileen's Hull Needle Dye book. You might get it in the US. Yeah, you might, Anne. That's a good point. But even that page, look at that page, just with a sentiment. All it's got is a sentiment and a few numbers. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So I really enjoyed that. What's that? I'm glad you're enjoying it, but not nearly as much as we do. and Paula's crafted along and nearly finished. Wow, Paula. I love it. I absolutely love it when people craft along. Just love it. So thank you for your company. I'm sorry it went on a little bit longer. And thank you, Diane, for joining me. This simple, what were we, Diane? What was I? Quirky and simple was I? I can't remember now. Where do you get the cover from, Tracy? I die cut them. I actually die cut them out of a needle book. But Eileen Hall's got another little book out. So that'd work as well. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I really enjoyed your company. And I'm pleased with how it's turned out as well. Really pleased with it. Especially the sentiment pages as well. But just that little bit of number. Things like that make me happy. Just that tiny bit of number. I love it. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Thanks for your company. And I will see you tomorrow. I'll probably go live tomorrow about 4:30 on my usual Facebook page. Oh, thank you, Babs. 1967. There you go, Diane. That says something. We're both born in the same year. Thanks ever so much, everybody. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Oh, thank you, Belinda. So I'll see you all soon. See you tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye, everybody. Bye.